Welcome back, lawn and garden lovers. BW here again. It's June 10th today, and I'm a little late, but not too late, to plant my pepper and tomato plants. I normally aim for the 1st of June for planting around here, but others plant as early as the first week of May. My gardens always seem to do just fine planting this late, and I have no worries about late frost. I really love this 3-inch auger thing that fits in my electric drill. 3-inch peat pots fit perfectly into the holes it makes. Then I can just drop the plants and pots right into the holes. The auger speeds up the entire planting process. Having the right soil moisture really helps in making the holes. With too much moisture, the soil can be muddy and sticky, and with too little moisture, it can be too loose and flow back into the hole. Be careful when doing this. It's trickier than it looks. If the auger jams, the handle will spin and possibly hurt your wrist or hands. Be ready to let go of it if it jams. It jammed on me the year before last. I let go of it right away, but it spun and wound up the cord and damaged it. I had to repair the cord, but I escaped injury. A heavy-duty cordless drill may be better for this, but you still have to let go of the drill if it jams. I like to put about a teaspoon of starter fertilizer into each hole, then water it in before planting. I started 6 tomato plants, and I'll plant the 2 that look the best. I like to trim the lower limbs off of the tomato plants, so I can plant them deeper. I've found that planting the tomatoes deeply will promote roots to grow out from the buried stem, and the plants grow faster and bigger when planted that way. Whoops, I made this hole a little too deep. Let's put a little more dirt back in there. There, that'll work. Use plenty of water when planting. I started my pepper and tomato seeds on the 24th of April this year. I've really streamlined the process over the years. By streamlining, I mean that I've cut corners in the process and made it a lot easier for me. My production has suffered some because of this, so I think I'll change things up a little next year. Maybe I can make a video about that. You can peel the peat pot off before planting, or just leave it on. I like to peel it off if the soil holds together for me, and leave it on if the soil falls apart. I live in a northern state with a short growing season, so I make sure to choose varieties of plants that mature early. The days to maturity are always printed on the seed packets, so pay attention to that if you live in an area with a short growing season. These are big, healthy plants. They should do well after dividing. I started growing these plants from seed 5 weeks ago in 3-inch peat pots. I filled the pots with starting soil and 3 seeds of each type of plant. As they grow, I eliminate the smaller, less vigorous plants, leaving just the best looking plant in each pot. I sometimes don't get enough seeds to germinate, so I need to let more than one grow in a pot, and then divide the plants to have enough for planting. But leaving just one plant per pot, and using the auger makes planting so much faster. I plant the taller plants on the northeast part of the garden and the shorter plants on the southwest side of the garden. That way they all get plenty of sun. I have plenty of jalapeno plants this year, so I can eliminate some of the extra. I grew 6 different kinds of peppers, and if all goes as planned, I'll plant 5 of each variety, along with 2 tomato plants in this 100 square foot garden. This year, I'm planting jalapenos, serranos, Big E chilies, Fresno chilies, and some sweet bell peppers. Sadly, my poblanos didn't germinate. This is the only garden I have that gets full sun. Peppers and tomatoes require full sun. To divide them, I just remove the peat pot and hold on to as much of the roots and dirt as possible and pull them apart. The object is to preserve as much of the root ball as possible. I've done this many times over the years with a lot of success, but I've never had to do it with this many pepper plants at a time. Here I'm dividing another one. I hope these all grow. All the remaining plants will be divided. There, that's all of them. All 29 of them. But what about this one that fell right out of the potting soil with very few roots remaining? Let's plant him and give him a chance to grow. There, it'll be interesting to see how he does. Well, here's what it looks like after cleaning up and a little weeding. Tomatoes, Big E chilies, jalapenos, Fresno chilies, sweet bell peppers, and serranos. Here's that little guy with no roots. After planting, I like to put tomato cages around as many of the plants as I can. They help support a heavy crop of fruit and protect from the strong winds I get in this open part of the yard. I also planted some summer and winter squash seeds in my other garden. Here's what the garden looked like on the 1st of July. It's looking pretty good, but some of the plants aren't doing very well. I'm not sure why. It looks like 5 of them are having trouble. The one with the little roots, 2 that were divided, and 2 that weren't divided. I do lose a couple every year. There's the one with the little roots. Not doing well. Gone. Gone. And gone. So I have 26 pepper plants this year, and that's a lot. The tomatoes are doing great, and they have flowers on them already too. And take a look at the summer and winter squash I planted in my other garden. The winter squash is Delicata squash, a very sweet and tasty variety. Peppers and winter squash are great plants to grow for your local food shelf. The summer squash I planted at the 3 corners of the garden is actually zucchini, and just a month after planting, I'm already getting fresh squash. Oh, and look at all these volunteers popping up under the deck. These are Johnny Jump-Ups. A perfect name for them, right? They are beautiful little flowers, though. I'll show you this year's garden harvest a little later. So don't forget to subscribe to my channel and ring the bell so you don't miss any of my new videos. Now get out there and have some fun in your garden, and remember, you can do it.